How good is Star Wars? After watching Rogue One, I had a hankering for some old beloved games from the franchise. Hi, I'm Val from Hi-Hu, and I've been playing a bit of Dark Forces, a first-person shooter made in 1995 by LucasArts. Dark Forces is set at the same time as Rogue One, just before A New Hope, and although it's known canon now, it did fit in quite well with the story. I had a demo of this game when I was a kid, so when I saw it on sale on Steam, I was really excited to get back into a game which I spent so much of my childhood with. In Dark Forces, you play as Kyle Katarn, a Han Solo archetype who's working for the Rebel Alliance after defecting from the Imperial Empire because he found out that they killed his parents. Katarn and his handler/pilot, Jan Orris, travel to various locations throughout the Empire, steal the Death Star plans, and uncover Imperial super soldier program, creating Dark Troopers. Dark Troopers are scary robotically enhanced stormtroopers that hit like a runaway truck carrying a load of smaller trucks, but went down like a bitch once I learned how to dodge their attacks. The story is told in between the missions through some basic cutscenes and with the mission briefings. These cutscenes are pretty good for their time, and I like the fan service as many of the characters from the original trilogy popped up during these scenes, and were mentioned within the mission briefings as well. Similarly, I enjoyed fighting the various bad guys, who were all from the movie as well. Obviously you fight stormtroopers, but you also fight bounty hunters and guards from the races affiliated with the Empire and the Hutt cartels. The sound in the game is also really good. The blaster noises, the chatter from the stormtroopers, and the droid chirps are all lifted from the movie, and the voice actors did a really good job impersonating whomever they were supposed to be. It all gave the game an air of authenticity, and I felt that the game was actually placed within the universe. The music, however, while based on John Williams' score, was a little basic and repetitive, and it quickly became annoying. I just ended up turning it off. The game still looks really good, and the level of detail is amazing. I mean, it's still all pixelated with clunky animations, but compared to other games of the time, it's pretty good. In Dark Forces, each level feels different, with decorations appropriate to the setting. Running through hallways with lots of blinking lights and control panels while fighting detailed sprites that look just like their movie counterparts was awesome, and really got the nostalgia juice flowing. Comparing this to Wolfenstein 3D, which came out 3 years earlier in 1992, where the worlds are just the same stone texture broken up with Nazi symbolism, you can see how far the industry has moved in just 3 years. In terms of gameplay, Dark Forces is fun in parts. I enjoyed the shooting and dodging blaster fire. This made me feel like I was in the movie, as most of the encounters went much the same way as the shootouts do in the films, but the stormtroopers might actually hit you this time. Although I did seem to run out of ammo in certain places. My usual tactics in shooters, being spray and pray, didn't work out so much as I ran out so quickly. I found it a bit weird that you didn't replenish your ammo in between the missions, and I found myself being short at the beginning of some missions and having to punch out the baddies instead. It would have made sense story-wise to replenish at least some ammo. I'm sure the spaceship had some kind of blaster charging dock on board, right? But this was a standard at the time, so you can't really hold this against them. Just the same as Doom, you have shields, armor in Doom, and health, which can be replaced by picking up health packs and shield generators. Unlike Doom, there's also a life system, where if you die you start back at a checkpoint close by. However, if you lose all your lives you'll need to start the level again, which is better than other games at the time, where if you died, tough shit, it's back to the start of the level with you with only a pistol. Have fun, dickhead. In contrast to other games at the time, Dark Forces has a mission objective, such as kill a person or get an experimental weapon. Then you need to backtrack to the start of the level so Jan can pick you up and get the hell out of there, instead of simply finding the contextual button that signifies the end of the level, such as in Shadow Warrior. There's no indicator to the map of where this objective is or how to get there, meaning there's a lot of downtime where I was just wandering around the map trying to find where I was supposed to go, and this is what I had the most trouble with. Apart from the first few levels, which were included in the demo, and I had subsequently played to death as a kid, I had no fucking clue where the hell I was supposed to be going, and I spent ages lost and frustrated. This really fatigued me. Another problem I faced was the platforming. Now, first-person platforming has come a long way, see Dying Light or Mirror's Edge, but when this game was made it was in its infancy. Trying to jump from a ledge where you need to jump from a specific spot at a specific speed to make it, and where your legs are strictly theoretical, is not fun. You're gonna have a bad time. Coupled with the life system, I'll find myself repeatedly leaping to my doom halfway through a level, only to have to restart the whole thing again. Saying that, when I did make a jump I was pretty happy. When I overcame the challenge and completed the level, I had a little celebrationary drink. I played the Steam version, which plays on DOSBox, and the controls were okay. It did have some mouse support, but only the X-axis, and the Y-axis was controlled by the page up and down buttons. This felt really awkward, even though you don't strictly need to aim at the enemies above you or below you, and it was only really necessary in some sections of the game, but it did make things difficult. If I remember correctly, the game was originally played with keyboard-only controls, and honestly I think I would have preferred that instead. You could probably do this by rebinding the controls, but I couldn't be bothered. The mouse wheel doesn't change your weapons, as it does in most modern games. Instead you use the number buttons, which wasn't that big a deal. Not that I used the other weapons as much as the Stormtrooper blaster rifle, as it was the easiest to use and ammo was everywhere. You'll probably play around with the other weapons when you get them, but switch over to the blaster rifle and never look back. It wasn't that the other weapons were bad, it's just that they were a little slow or they ran out of ammo fast. As a last thought, I found the lighting in the game was a little annoying. Most of the time it was fine and I didn't notice, but there were some rooms that were very dark. I spent a while in a sewer level in which I was in complete darkness, and the only way I know where I was going was by the map, which can be overlaid like in Diablo 2. I later found out that you can get infrared goggles, which will let you see a little bit better, but you need to hit a button to activate them, and the game didn't tell me about it. I also found out that you even have an inventory screen that you also need to hit a button for, but the game didn't tell me about that either, and the only reason I found out is because I was lost in a level and got frustrated enough to look up a guide. It ended up that I needed to get a code out of my inventory screen to open a door to continue. In the end, how does it hold up? I don't think it held up that well. It's still fun and I had a good time, but the mechanics are dated in it, and being lost all the time weighed heavily on me. I just moved on to another game, which wasn't so frustrating. I feel that you could spend your money and your time on better games. This has been Val reviewing Dark Forces for Hi-Hu. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and for more videos like this, subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.
It's been a long time since I've challenged a man to battle. I'm glad my opponent is so worthy.